figure out how to check your credit report, but you don't know how. You wonder if you're a victim of credit fraud or if your credit report contains errors. We've all had these questions running through our mind at one point or another. The credit report contains important information, and obtaining a credit report is simple and requires some information from our part. A credit report is different to a credit score, which will be clarified. In the United States, there are 3 credit reporting companies, which are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These reporting companies must supply a free credit report yearly under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you wonder what kind of information is supplied in your credit report. As stated by the Federal Trade Commission, the report includes where you live, how you pay your bills, if you've been sued or filed for bankruptcy. All this information is used to evaluate your applications to rent a home, also for credit, and much more. Next is how to retrieve your credit report. The 3 credit reporting companies have 3 methods. The first method is to retrieve is the annualcreditreport.com, which is the official website as stated by Buffalo News. This is the only website that is authorized by law to supply the annual credit report. Other websites that offer free credit reports or scores are considered imposter websites. These websites are not under the free annual credit report program as stated by the Federal Trade Commission. The second method is filling out the report request form and mailing it to the Annual Credit Report Service in Atlanta, Georgia. The third and last method is calling the phone number, which is listed on this pamphlet that I will be issuing out, and also the address is listed as well. And you also need to provide your full name, your address, social, and date of birth. Now that you have your report, you find suspicious activity and errors. You don't know what to do, and you ask yourself how to fix these errors. First, let's start off with credit fraud. Credit fraud can be identity theft, identity assumption, and also fraud spree, as stated by Experian. Thieves can gather your information by stolen credit cards or looking over your shoulder during transactions. You might even receive false telephone solicitations. If you are a victim of credit fraud, you can place an alert on your credit report, as stated by TransUnion. Apart from credit fraud, there can also be inaccuracies that we have to watch out for. If you find errors on your report or your report is incomplete, you have the right to dispute this information, as stated by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. Once the complaint has been submitted, the investigation begins. The information is then forwarded to the agency that initially provided this information. Then the information is investigated and fully reviewed. The results are then sent back to the reporting agency, and the information, once it's found to be inaccurate, is reported back to the credit reporting agencies, and they are notified. Then you are given a free copy of your report, which is not part of your annual report, as stated by the Federal Trade Commission. We can easily see how important it is to check our credit report. Now, a credit report and score are completely different. The credit report contains a list of information in your credit files, such as how often you pay your credit and the amount. On the other hand, a credit score shows your estimated capacity of paying back loans and/or services. Federal law gives a right to a free yearly credit report, but it does not require for companies to issue a free credit score. And in conclusion, credit fraud and inaccuracies can happen to anyone. It is important to know the steps in retrieving our credit report and what to do in these scenarios. Although a credit report and scores are different, both are important and we must keep track of them both. Now we have more information is listed on this handout and interesting facts. Thank you.